Dab Digger here. Just want to do a short video on spinning reel line twist. This is a very small ultralight, probably a sub 500 spinning reel that I like to use. Every loop that comes off of this spool is about 4 inches, so there's 3 per foot. Now if you use one of these electric line spoolers, put your spool on this arbor here on the motor and your filler spool over here, you can put the line on this reel with 0 twist whatsoever. Now once you have the line on here with no twists, let's say you make a cast and you have 80 feet between this spool and your lure. That's 240 twists. You still have 0 twists on your spool, but from here to your lure you got 240 twists. So if you start getting any slack in your line, it's going to start jumping around and looping around the tip of your rod. Also, when you open that bail, make a cast, and you start to close that bail, it'll jump around the roller on that bail. Right here on this part of where the roller is, it'll jump around there. And you have to sit there and play with that to get it undone, or you're reaching down there to the end of your pole, getting it undone, or when you reel it in, you're flipping your lure around trying to get the twist off the end of your rod. And that's constant when you have no twists on your spool and they're all between the spool and your lure. What I like to do is I like to just spool my reel just like you would a bait caster. Take your spool, put a pencil in there, hold it between your knees, keep a little tension on there, and roll it straight onto your reel. Put all the twists on your reel. That's what the spinning reel does. That's the nature of the beast, is to put twists on the reel. That way, when the twists are on the spool and you cast out, say that 80 feet from your spool to your lure, you have 0 twists between there. All the twists are still on the spool. And when you close that bail and you start reeling it in, the twist will come back onto the spool, and by the time you get the lure up, you're back to where you was when you started. Open it up, cast out, all the twists come back out. You have 0 twists between your spool and your lure. Now, when you have all those twists on your spool, it will have a tendency to spring off that spool. You have to take extra care to prevent that from happening by, when you go to close that bail, lift that rod tip up. When you lift that rod tip up, you pull the slack that's on that spool out. And as that bail closes and starts to turn, it does not have a chance for a loop to get underneath a previous loop. That's what causes the bird's nest. If you ever notice that when you cast and you get a loop that comes out, and next thing you know, it's 6 or 8 inches up here spun around, that's because it's gotten underneath a previous loop, cast it out, pulled out, and then you have a mess. When that happens, which it does no matter how well you maintain your spool, it's going to happen that way. Is to find that loop, unloop it all the way back down, take your fingernail and put it around the top edge of your spool. Just feed it back on there as much as you can, tight as you can, and then take that line that runs out to your lure and kind of pull it off of the spool until you get to that part. And then you close it up, put a little tension on there, and draw it back down, and then you're good to go again. And if you manually use your reel, your bail, then you want to flip it as you lift it up. So you cast out, and as you go to flip that bail, lift up on that rod. Boom. Just like that. Boom. Or if you do it automatically, boom. As long as you're pulling up on that rod, you're taking the slack out of here. So boom. I never do manually. I just do it automatically, and I go like that. And that eliminates all my bird's nests. So I cast out there, and then boom, be lifting up as I flip it. And you will eliminate 99% of your bird's nest.